Welcome everyone. This is No Bullshit Gaming Podcast 2.5 Gamers session number 59. We are sharing actionable insights, dropping knowledge from our day-to-day user acquisition, game design, and other monetization jobs. Definitely not discussing the latest industry news, but we are having so much fun. Let's not forget, this is 4 a.m. conference discussion vibe, so let's not take it too seriously. Today we have Felix Braberg, no Philips, Felix, there's Jakub, Remia, and myself, Matej, Lančarič. So, what's up, guys? All good?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Finally
Feeling
had
prepared?
time to play Hogwarts Legacy, at least to some point.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, he was like, just give me the Avada Kedavra and I will be good.
Yeah.
That's so OP builds there.
Again,
Man, but Remo, after the chat we had today in our little group chat, I do have some beef with you, man. Seriously, in our group chat, we were asked by a fan if we could review Legend of Slime by Load Complete, right?
We'll review.
we will, yeah.
Because
Save
it's making
us, right?
more than 300k a day
To which
already.
I innocently asked, are there any ads in there? That would be interesting. And Remo's like, of course. So it's a big hit game in South Korea. And I'm like, you said on episode 53 that a game can't be big in South Korea and have ads.
And have ads.
And I'm just
exactly.
you said it in minute 10:54, and you're like, if you're big in South Korea, you can't have ads. And I'm just saying, this highlights the most interesting issue, which I have to deal with all the time. You have these really Puritans that are game designers, this is a premium field, we can't have rewarded ads, and they miss out on revenue without testing it. It's just, it
that's
pains
not
me.
true. It's premium feel, man, not in South Korea.
Phil
Premium
Collins,
that's the difference.
that's the only feel that can be in South Korean games. No, Ben,
Yeah, because we were talking about the waifu game, which is the part of that context that you put it out of, which has the premium feel of it. That's the thing I was saying. But yeah, there's big games, even Random Dice, for instance. There's also the current iteration that we have in the West called Rush Royale from My Games. They were already pretty big with ads already when they launched in South
Random
Korea.
Dice.
So, yeah.
Okay.
My point being
let's
is these waifu
Yeah.
games should just try it before they knock it down.
Yes.
No harm in testing.
You mean
We'll test.
get more waifus for the ads?
That's up to you Puritans to decide, right?
Yeah,
or more
yeah.
horse girls, right?
More horse girls, exactly.
They don't have ads, I can guarantee that.
Yeah,
All right,
they
enough anger. What are we talking about today, Maciek?
Yes.
You've been very secretive about this.
Very, very secretive because we were. I wanted to bring this on last week, but Snaker happened. So this could go only in two directions: very, very good, or absolutely terrible. So we're going to talk about some flamboyant UA stuff. So
Wait, before you get into that, I'm so happy that out of all the things I've called you in the 7 years I've known you, this is the one you've taken with and just run with. You have a flamingo now on LinkedIn. You're you went from being I don't have to look up what flamboyant means.
Of
You're
course.
I'm doing a flamboyant UA session.
Exactly. So before we start, we need to start with a flamboyant UA checklist. One second. So here it's a hat. Oh, cap. There you go. What do we have?
I can see something pink there.
Yeah, of course. We have a scarf as well. Have glasses. One sec.
Napoleon had a hat as well, right?
Yeah, and then the glasses that's on. And then the most important part is the margarita. So cheers. And then we need the flamingo. So we can start actually. Oh fuck, this is terrible. The scarf is killing me. Okay, fuck it. I can actually have this. Okay, so you didn't ask where the fuck is the flamingo, so let me actually share this. Let me share this. It's right here.
What am I watching and what are we doing?
Yeah, so I'm gonna put this on the screen while I'm talking about the UA. It's 30-minute flamingos in water, so it's gonna be there. So yeah, we can start. So unleash your inner flamboyance with the UA and creative flamingo session.
You turn off that noise at least, please.
I need to. But it's kind of nice. Okay, fuck it. So I'm really hoping you are ready for the epic intro I've wrote. So and for everybody as well. So are you looking to spice up your user acquisition strategy? Well, do you want to captivate your target audience with stunning creative visuals? Well, look no further. We are bringing you the Unleash Your Inner Flamboyance user acquisition and creative insight session hosted by the industry Maven Matej. So this session will teach you how to tap into your inner creativity and develop bold, flamboyant UA campaigns to drive 1000% ROAS on day 7.
Is he selling vacuum cleaners or UA?
It's hard to say. So during the session, you will learn how to design eye-catching visuals and leverage different UA channels to reach your target audience. And you will discover how to tailor your message to resonate with the specific demographics and how to A/B test your campaigns to optimize performance. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, there are some like other sentences. Nobody cares. So don't settle for any other boring and forgettable podcasts. Unleash your inner flamboyance and captivate your audience with creative, innovative marketing strategies. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the Unleash Your Inner Flamboyance session today. So take your user acquisition game to the next fucking level. So okay, let's go to the actual meat of the podcast. I have 10 plus 1 flamboyant flamingo UA tips. So let's start with something actually as a warm up, and I will do all of these. The ones you can interrupt me wherever you can.
How do we plan on it?
Of course,
count on it.
Yeah, pretty much. And then at the end of the session, you can rate these tips, and I will tell you to go fuck yourself afterwards.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's pretty good start. No, epic intro. You see the flamingos over there. Fuck, this is amazing. So I'll put it on the screen because that visual design is kind of working well. So let's start with like how to do a proper UA and creative review. I know we touched upon it before, but this is what I do always when I start working with a company, with the game, or when companies approach me to actually do a review. So there's a channel performance, creative history, and data setup. So what I'm looking for to get the read on is the campaign structure or the campaign type. If the companies or games are running the automated campaigns or manual campaigns, or what kind of optimizations are they running, if they're running app event optimized campaigns or value optimized campaigns, or just mobile app install campaigns for ad monetized games as well, because on the latest week Felix was mentioned that nobody cares about downloads except Felix.
Admon people do.
Exactly, admon people do. So I'm looking into the targeting options, geos as well. That's why I always start the UA review of the games that we talk about with geo revenue mix, creatives, age segments, and Android device performance. So what usually is happening is that some devices have better performance and some low performance on Android, especially since there's like millions of devices. And thanks to the fact that OS 12 on Android now runs only on 6 GB of RAM, that can help you improve the performance quite easily, because then you kind of exclude all of the low-end devices right away with just one toggle. Then looking into the creative history, like what worked, what didn't, try to know like why. Usually the why something works or something doesn't work, it's not that clear. But I usually also look into the types of creatives, and then most importantly, what's the cadence of the creative refresh, if it's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or never. That also happens from time to time. Never, yeah, people or companies come to me like, yeah, well, we might have a problem because we have high CPIs. Okay, so how often do you change creatives? Well, once in 6 months. Like, yeah, okay, that's very good idea.
By the way, one question
Yeah.
from non-UA person. Isn't this like every company problem that they have high CPI? I mean,
it is, but that can be a problem because of multiple reasons. Because of creatives, because of channel mix, because of geo mix, because of wrong setup on the campaign.
But how do you know, like, if you start within like this review that the CPI is high? It's CPI high because of the genre, because of the spend, because of like what tells you that it's actually high? Because my guess is like everybody eventually hits the ceiling. So what tells you that this is high CPI or this can be improved through creatives?
Yeah, because I have also like benchmarks from the companies and games I work with, and I see, and I still work on the like multiple games. So when I look into CPIs, and I always look how long the campaigns are running, because usually the CPI at the beginning of the campaign is lower than after like 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking into that delta between the start and maybe the end. That's really important factor, because then that tells you also if the game is niche or kind of broad appealing. Because if it's niche, your CPI increase quite heavily in a few days.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, because your potential reach is very small, so you need to really juggle with the creative refresh as well. And then genre, as you said, it's like multiple things at once. So I'm comparing it to the internal benchmarks, then looking into the genre as well, and then obviously looking at if like which creatives work the best and like which didn't, because different creatives, who would say that, they're different, very different performance.
And as a normal studio guy, am I able to get these benchmarks somewhere if I'm not working with 50 different companies?
I mean,
is that because you UA managers just refuse to share?
Yeah, of course. But no, it's really hard to get. I mean, there are some tools and some benchmarks from all different tools, but they're not that accurate, even though they say, oh, well, I see different numbers when I look into campaigns, and these tools kind of have, they say like loads of installs, so they need to be accurate, but they're not, because they are not taking into consideration different optimizations. So you can't compare or average out mobile app install campaigns with purchase campaigns and value optimized campaigns, because the difference between the CPI campaign or the mobile app install campaign can be $1, the CPI there, and for value optimized campaigns it can be 30 or 20 or 50. It's like it's super wild. So it's like it's not very comparable. So you don't have these data points anywhere, because, well, it's like with spend, nobody shares that, and you can't kind of get it from anywhere anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You can estimate and calculate the spend.
Okay.
Fuck. So yeah, my inner flamboyance just
evaporates every minute.
Every minute evaporates. Okay. Felix, you want to ask something as well?
No, you got answered.
Okay. No. Then what's really important is the data health check and the setup of MMPs, and then cross-checking all the tools and channels, and if every data point matches up, because, well, 9 out of 10 games, there's always a problem. There's always a problem.
I guess that's the problem with all mobile. The underlying tech is just a bit shit. It's not shit, but like the thing is, like, nobody has time to implement it properly, and nobody has time or knowledge or experience to actually check it if it's right. That's the problem. But yeah, then I always kind of check the daily spend versus daily revenue, and then paid versus organic installs. And also what our favorite data tool has is the percentage of paid installs. That can help you kind of estimate with the potential CPI, like how much money they spend in each country. And that should give you a pretty good idea of like how the game is actually doing. If you do it on like internal data, if it's external data, then it's kind of limited and you need to do different things. But I think, yeah, pretty much. Which is important always to start, look into things, and then craft a strategy for the UA and the next steps. Which brings me to the second point, which is talking about setting up goals and budgets and targets for UA people, because this is always super tricky, goal setting and measuring KPIs. So most companies are trying to set goals for the UA departments to measure effectiveness and give employees bonuses.
But again, not only the goal setting is problem or tricky, it's also budgeting. There's also usually a problem because product teams look at the UA team and ask like, hey, give me some budget predictions. And then UA team looks at the product and is like, hey, okay, give me some product roadmap so I can actually estimate the budget based on that. And some companies even ask UA managers to come up with the global launch plan and the budget in the pre-soft launch period. Like, how the fuck I'm supposed to create a plan with the budgets when
So
I
you
don't know
make
the
up
KPIs?
numbers, right? Like,
Yeah,
I need a
know,
million.
Yeah.
How
Like
do you
that-
estimate the budget on product roadmap?
So I can not estimate the whole budget, but at least I can know like when there is a new feature coming in, then I want to spend more.
So you divide the budget.
Not divide the budget, but additionally, I can add more budget in those months when some new feature is coming live.
Okay.
Because then I kind of expect that the game will have better performance after the new feature is out. Which can go very wrong, of course. Which can go very wrong. But you know, at least it's gonna be on the paper, and usually people like strategies on paper and presentations. And then when it's the same thing with the global launch. So you have the global launch plan, and then everything goes to shit anyway. So you need to have plan B, C, D, and E. But you know, plan A is always on the paper, and then everybody's happy. So yeah, but then if you ask UA managers across the globe, like what's the goal they optimized against, it's always day 7 ROAS for some reason. That's the most frequent answer, which is double-edged.
Super soon.
So the thing is, like day 7 cohorts are matured enough, so you could say with decent confidence that this particular cohort is good or not. Day 1 and day 3 metrics are in most cases too early to tell. Because, you know, like everything can happen in one day, it kind of fluctuates. So that's the thing. But then, yes, it's very, very weird because some channels, or well, all of the channels can have very different LTV curves, which means day 7 on Facebook can be 20%, but then reaching 100% in day 60. But on the other hand, you can have Unity and day 7 ROAS 5%, but then 100 is like on day 30, which is way better, right? So again, it's
or 100 is never,
or 100 is never as well. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So it's, you know, if you're looking into say do UA at scale, you should never make a decision based on like one metric, but try to understand like the whole your game and what kind of different activities influence the whole user acquisition performance. So, okay, so what exactly you should do then? Well, I have no idea. Do whatever the fuck you want, but
it's like getting a straight answer from a UA manager. Always when you ask him a question, there's like,
it depends.
How are you feeling?
Depends.
Oh, depends.
Depends. Yeah, depends. No, but I can tell you like what I usually do. So I create day 1, day 3, day 7 ROAS benchmarks for each platform and UA channel. Obviously, iOS is really hard these days, but at least you can have some benchmarks, which leads to 100% ROAS on your desired payback period. So if it's day 90, 180 or whatever, then measure and evaluate performance against these 3 benchmarks. Because I can see if I hit day 1 10% on Facebook, and I hit then day 3 25%, then day 7 on day 50%, then I have 100% in the 30 days. So if I move the budget up and down and hit this day 1 benchmark, it's good. Then I'm pretty sure that I will kind of get the money back in the desired payback period. So, we need to recalculate these benchmarks based on the current situation, obviously, seasonality, company cash flow issues, scaling, new game features as well, and special offers and live ops. So that's kind of important. Then, you just make profit afterwards. Or not. Which, again, takes me to another point about growing the budgets, actually.
If you've built a mobile game for iOS or Android, you've experienced user churn. You can win those users back, but it's getting more and more expensive, even more so to acquire totally new users. Enter cross-promotion with Addictive. By identifying your users likely to churn early, you can showcase another game in your portfolio before they leave forever, transforming a lost user into a new user, increasing your revenues. Learn more now at addictive.com.
3.
Yes, so the point number 3, just budget increase versus payback period exercise, which is important because you think about how to increase budget slowly and steadily, which is hard. So how to do it? Because, well, how it works. So if you increase the budget, then obviously you start to target broader audience, and then the payback period increases. That's, because some people don't understand quite this
The correlation here?
The correlation here, yes, because I've been in a discussion where some people thought that if we increase the budget, then the payback period stays the same, and then that's the ultimate profit. But that's not how it works. So let's take a look at the payback period and see like how we can grow it. So let's say you can achieve day 30 100% with 100,000 spent. So how to grow it? You always look at the retention profile and look if you're retaining players after day 30. You are perfect. Are you retaining players after day 60? Amazing. Day 90? Yes. Okay, perfect. But after day 90, it starts to be very close to zero. So, if you kind of start to optimize for 120 days payback period, then you might not see the money coming back anytime soon, which equals never, I guess. And that's very, very interesting point and a very important point as well. So how to start increasing budgets from that 100K to 150? Yeah, it's fine.
Let me throw one wrench here.
Yeah.
What happens if I'm looking only on the retention of my pairs, which is bigger and stretches towards that 120 goal?
Yeah, but you don't always... you don't only acquire pairs.
Of course, I'm just throwing a wrench here.
Maven Matej doesn't only acquire payers.
Yeah, unfortunately, no, that's not how it works. Unfortunately,
Usually like 40 to 70% of the users, I deal with watch my product, so that's good.
Yeah. Watch ads afterwards, which again is also a good point to mention, because then if you're optimizing for ad revenue, it's not going to be 90 days, but it's going to be short period of time, like day 30, I guess, tops. Because what happens after players watch 6 ads, or what was the decay?
The biggest decay is after like 5 ad watches.
Okay.
But usually you say, like in America, if you have roughly around 7 like imp down and rewarded with an ad viewer rate of 70%, you'll add on usually a player LTV after day 14 of between $80 to $1.20, maybe, if you're lucky.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, what I wanted to say is to just increasing the budget on a monthly basis by 20 to 30% on top of what you have after the, there's still players playing the game. So until day 90. After day 90, I guess you hit the ceiling. Also, very important thing is to be looking at the net figures and not gross, because that can fuck you up quite heavily.
Has that happened a lot?
And that's happening a lot. So please calculate the net figures, because that can destroy your whole equation. Then what's really important is campaign structure consolidation and then optimization, because I often see a lot of campaigns with a small spend across multiple channels when I do these reviews that I mentioned in the first tip. And I understand why teams end up in this situation. That can happen, but it's very far from ideal, because then you make frequently many changes, not giving the campaigns enough time and space to actually exit the learning phase. So what you should do, easy, just consolidate campaigns, fewer campaigns, higher budgets to allow leaving the learning phase quickly. And no, this wasn't suggested by any of your Facebook or Google representative. It was suggested by me. No Facebook or Google reps. But to be honest, just stop running geo-specific campaigns. It's not 2014 anymore. Group the countries into buckets, into tiers, and put decent budget behind it. So, for example, very like simple structure that I run from the beginning is US as a standalone, which is the only country can handle quite a lot of money or budget per day, and then rest of the world. Fuck it. If you want to go,
sounds like Admon. Yeah.
yeah. Then you go kind of step by step and looking into the campaign, country performance, and then from the rest of the world create a tier 1 bucket. Then if you go again a little bit wild, you can create the tier 2 bucket as well. And then again, like next to the US and the rest of the world and tier 1. So tiers always, look at the LTV and ROAS numbers for the, let's say, last 90 days, and then make your own tiers based on your own data. If you don't have the data, let me know. I can give you some inspiration. And then the most important tip of all, I mentioned it a million times before. Can you guess which one is it?
Make fake ads.
No. No. Close. That was close.
Make a margarita.
Sure. You should always have a margarita. But UA diversification, for God's sakes. Come on. Like, you need to
You have
run
too many catchphrases at this point. Flamingo.
I know. Yeah,
It's just too many.
ASMR.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about ASMR or UA diversification, but I talked about ASMR all the time in the last year. So now UA diversification is the key phrase of this year and last year as well. You need to run multiple accounts, multiple UA channels at this point. Not only Facebook, not even Facebook anymore. I was just on the call with one guy, and he said that Facebook is giving them a hard time. They run a lot of ad networks and Google, which is something I see as well. So now it looks like Google is one of the most important parts of the UA channel mix. Uplavin as well, Unity, TikTok as well. Facebook, sure, it's the part of the job as well, but it's not the biggest share of the impressions anymore. So think about it. And even if you run a soft launch game or game in the soft launch, you need to have multiple data points. So then have at least 2 or 3 UA channels in the mix. You can diversify not only on the UA channel level, but also go a little bit deeper based on the monetization strategy of your game. You can do purchase campaigns, even optimized campaigns for engagement events. You can go value optimized campaigns. You can go ad monetized campaigns, ad ROAS campaigns that we talked about a million times before. And Google ad ROAS campaigns are the most promising and the best performing campaigns for ad monetized games. So yeah, definitely go for it. And then I'm not going to spend more time on the UA diversification because I already talked about it a million times.
Every day.
Yeah, I know. Every day you're diversifying. Then the most important part on the creative side, because I wanted to divide this into UA specific things and then creatives as well. So I'm going to show you some creatives afterwards. So let's start with the most fun one. The creatives are made for players, not art directors. So,
that's something
one.
very controversial. These creatives aren't up to our standard. And Matej, you disagree with that statement a lot, right?
Yeah. I know.
Doesn't follow our brand guidelines.
Oh, well, brand guidelines, sure. No, that's fine. But usually when you have a chain of people looking on or like approving the creatives, and then everybody's happy with everything, and usually then there's the art director that says, "Oh well, this looks like shit. We can't put this live." Usually, the worst looking creatives are the best performers. Who would guess?
Are you saying users have bad taste? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe
Matej?
no, but like if something looks terrible, it doesn't need. It kind of looks very native, honestly. But then, okay. Jokes aside, is even if your art directors won't agree, just run it as an A/B test, then show data. If the data says that this whatever creative concepts nobody likes is actually performing well, yeah, you should definitely go for it. If if you like to get your money back. There is so much controversy on the creatives as well. We just used one ASMR creative, which was performing absolutely great and amazing, outperformed everything. But then players started to complain that this feature is not in the game yet. It's coming actually into the game, but it should be there in like 2 or 3 months. So they started complaining. So we actually had to take it out. And then, yeah, that's the sad part. What can you do in that moment? Well, not that much.
Not lie to the users in the first place, or is that a bit too idealistic of me?
What do you mean, like lie to the users? It's in the pipeline. It's gonna be there. What are you talking about?
Do you know how much like politicians would get before the elections when they promise the roadmaps?
Yeah, there you go.
That is a good point, actually.
I think it's like
They are the OGs of fake ads.
Okay. That's very true, man. I even have presidents later down the road, so I can show them. Okay, let's move. Let's move quickly because then I want to just mention this. I think we touched upon it a little bit. Using generative AI in the UA workflow, because UA managers must leverage the AI tools, which I use as well, Midjourney, ChatGPT, whatever else, Notion AI, in the UA flow. And I think some ASO companies even introduce now AI tool to check and reply reviews in the store, which is amazing. It saves a lot of time. And so how I use the ChatGPT here. So I'm using it for writing headlines, text, short descriptions, and long descriptions in the store. For example, prompt, write me 5 headlines for a motocross game with 30 characters max. Then, boom, I had 5 headlines immediately. I could, then I said to order it from the highest possibility of converting to players. And then I kind of got the revised list. I would focus on increasing conversions.
How does it know the possibilities?
I have no idea, man.
What?
Yes, it could just be bullshit, right? Like,
Yeah,
it could be bullshit.
What data set is it training on?
You can force it to say 2 + 2 is 5.
I know.
Not wrong.
So,
Okay.
It's not wrong.
So, yeah. So you need to be very careful. I wanted to say this. And you need to go, play around with the prompts and always have a logic check or whatever. Because it can give me a lot of bullshits. But you can A/B test and see if it's actually right or wrong. Then kind of I use it for getting player motivations for different genres. So, for example, I had this game in the soft launch, and we just wanted to test different creatives, concepts to find the sweet spot of like what kind of works the best. And usually we sit down with the team and then talk about what kind of player motivations are for different games. But then I just asked the ChatGPT. So so I got 5 or 6. So, the competitive spirit, challenge, relaxation, social interactions, and aesthetic appeal. I think this was for match-free game. So tell me if this is right or wrong. And it feels kind of okay. Collecting, customizing different power-ups and customizing game avatars, whatever. So it can be a little bit, misleading. But these are just a few examples to get some ideas, and then you should just sit down with the team on the UA product and creative side to try to understand like what exactly are the motivations in the brainstorming session. Which always should be the case, but this can give you at least some initial information and ideas and inspiration. And talking about inspiration, where to get the inspiration for creatives, which is the 0.9 already. So we're kind of getting close to the end. So we're looking for. No, I know. But where would you get the inspiration, guys, for creatives?
I would steal them from competitors.
Yeah, exactly. What else?
Make fake gameplay.
Jeez, but how would you create that gameplay, like fake gameplay? Where would you get the inspiration from?
Look at the competitors.
Look at competitors. Yeah.
No shit, Sherlock. But yeah, of course, that's the first point in this list. When we go deeper, it's yes, competitors. Obviously, that's the best thing to start. But don't copy their ads like one-to-one. Use them as an inspiration and try to add like +1 kind of iteration to the concept.
Copy hyper casual.
On the other hand, if you're a small studio, fuck it. If you don't have a lot of resources, you just copy one-to-one. Then
Remo, here I was sitting thinking that UA managers are from flamboyant, but it turns out they're actually lemmings.
What?
They follow, just follow.
Oh my god, it's terrible.
Let's put the Travolta face here.
Yeah. We should. We should. I'm trying to find. Not this one. Not this one as well. I'm trying to find the homescapes creative.
The newest creation.
Yeah, but fuck
the mother and the child, and
yeah, and I don't know. No, it's something different. It's actually something different. But I have that in there as well. But okay, I will show it in the post production anyway. So we can also go to non-direct competitors, aka different genres, hyper casual as well. But it can go like 2 different directions here. And it can be your target audience interest overlap or affinity, and if you look into other genres that your players play, obviously. So let's see, match 3 versus merge, or shooters versus strategy, or any other insights you have, Mr. Jakub.
I'm just thinking about this, that we let's say we master all of this, that what you said in last 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and we squeeze the CPI. But don't we squeeze the retention with it also, because the expectations of that group is coming from that creative, which is kind of shitty. And in the end, now much lower retention players are entering our product.
So that's the thing. Yes, these fake ads or different types of creatives have lower retention, which is not tied to the gameplay. But if you run purchase optimized campaigns, you don't care about retention that much. Because it's you're getting payers, and that's going back to your like payer retention point before.
Purchase optimized campaigns with those fake ads.
Yes, that's like the best combination, because if you run mobile app install campaigns with fake ads, you will get the low CPI but also super low retention. It's just gonna be like, fuck, this is not going to work. But if you use those fake ads in the purchase or value optimized campaigns, which usually have, like I said, like $20 or $30 or $50 CPI, the worst case scenario, you can decrease from 50 to maybe 20 or maybe to 10 with these fake ads, and still get those super high valuable players in. And then,
and then why is this not done by pretty much everyone?
Because of the brand guidelines as well. Not everybody can afford using this. Like, you remember we talked about Century Games? They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about anything. They use fake ads. They use different mini games in the game. They use the idle game as an onboarding for their Forex game. So they don't, they don't give a fuck. But other gaming companies, they do.
Just like Ruby Games before they got bought by Rovio. Like, they didn't care. And then after they got bought, it's like, whoa, that's very tidy, these new ads.
But
that's how it works.
Still doesn't get around me. Why would you sacrifice like that much company revenue for brand guidelines? Is it that important?
Because it doesn't go to the founders, the decision making. It ends up in the fucking art director. That's the fucking point. Because they say, oh, well, we can't do this. Like, yes, but if you don't do that, you don't make money. But then if you ask the founder, like, yeah, come on, man. we want money. We want to pay your salary as well. So, like, why wouldn't we do that? But it's, of course, like, you need to find the sweet spot. And this might be very controversial, what I'm just saying. So
yeah, I didn't say that. Machi said that.
Yeah, of course. That's fine. Okay. That's fine. Where you get the inspiration, I can continue. You can get the YouTube trends versus TikTok trends. All these ASMR eating, saving the dog, chest opening, dancing, and whatever else. But memes and hype and AI shit. So we talked about AI shit before, and now This is fucking amazing. And I'm going to share also one other thing.
That doesn't even make any sense. I'm older
Yeah,
than
for those
you.
looking at YouTube.
Fuck this, I'm going mining.
No, don't worry.
Hey,
I'm
Obama,
going to
you
just put it
joining?
here.
This retard is getting on my nerves.
This one.
Yeah, it's just loading. I'm almost in.
This is like the best fucking thing ever invented. AI voice of three presidents of US just playing Minecraft and talking shit to each other. It's amazing. So we use this for one game. Yeah.
It's scary how good it is.
It's scary how good it is. I'm going to just show it here. We actually used this for one game.
Which president's voice do you use?
We used Donald Trump, Obama, and Biden. So scary.
Step up to Big O again, and I will
You
issue a
can't say
high-precision drone strike on your ass that will
so
remind you of the
obviously we
war
got banned
crimes
on TikTok because they thought this is politic ads. We're just talking about one game. Maybe I'm going to show that game in here as well. It was just hilarious. It worked so well on TikTok, not so well. Worked well on TikTok for the purchase campaigns we were running in tier 1 countries. So the regular type of creatives were getting around $14 CPI. These $5. So I was like, yes, you want to do that. So I'm going to share.
Is this sustainable? Isn't this like punishable by?
But then again, like
it is. Yeah.
Google and Facebook allow political ads, and I, as an ad bond manager, I have to block that on my end if I don't want political ads. So why don't you just run it on Google then?
Yeah, exactly. So I ran it on Facebook and Google as well. Just TikTok was a pain in the ass. And anyway, like this is kind of dangerous area. So yes, like you said, it's not
Super
sustainable.
Dangerous.
But it's like look like all the hyper casual like shit is not sustainable as well. Hyper casual shit meaning the save the dog, putting in your game and jumping on one trend to another. It's not sustainable, of course. But if it's a trend, like why not to use it?
Yeah,
because it's important. So then,
so essentially, you just like take competitor creatives, look what's trending on TikTok, and incorporate the TikTok trends with competitor creatives, and then you have a creative strategy.
Well, that's one part of the creative strategy. But
you literally slap the game that's trending on TikTok into your funnel.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like X Hero or something else. So we have then like two last points. Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you that much anymore. Which is the anatomy of well-performing creative. Because it's not, it's very interesting because we already saw some of those creatives before. So we have the hook, the meat, and the call to action. So the hook is the first 4 seconds, 1 to 4 seconds of your ad, which is the most important part. Making the most of this time, just but captivating the audience with a powerful attention grabbing hook that draws them into the game and like keep watching. You need to ensure that the hook is actually related to the game at least in some way, which kind of ensures the smooth transition into the creative. Then you remember this one. I have it here. Where is it? Oh no, it's here. It's here. So I have it here. I think you remember this one.
Oh, this one. Yeah, a guy cutting snow out
and then
his
bam,
rooftop.
It's like
a live
frozen
person
city.
and then frozen city. Okay.
I'm gonna show this anyway. So it's frozen city afterwards. This is great. They have these hooks almost in every creative they run. Then we have the meat, basically, still like from the hook to the meat and then to the call to action. So showing gameplay, strategies, characters, unique art styles, revealed elements. Also alter the gameplay in the creatives. Here we are, because not every level you show in the creative needs to be in the game.
Man, imagine this level of, let's say, it's like optimization sophistication pretty much on like player attention. Literally, like every second is planned. Imagine these things were running on TV.
That would never pass quality control.
Exactly. Yeah. Imagine what would happen.
Of course. Never air. So who cares? Who cares? I need to think about this. And here we have the rationale, like the most like spending creative in the last 30 or 90 days.
Yeah, I saw that 2 times
They're
already.
spending shit ton of money on this one.
What's a shit ton? Like $1 million a day? Like how much?
I have no idea. We calculated it in the Rush Royale episode, which was a long time ago, so I don't know. It was like a few millions a month, not a day. Because like you can't spend 1 million a day if you make 5 millions a month. Well, you can, but then it's kind of hard. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get the money back. And then we have the call to action, which should be at the end of the video. Any like catchy slogan, blah blah blah. But what Homescapes does is this like try next level, achieve level XYZ, or purchase eventually. They have this interesting. This one. They have this, this is really not.
I know a lot of people hate these ads.
I hate this ad.
The usual pinned creative.
Yeah.
The usual pinned creative, but the end of the creative is so interesting because then you have like multiple levels at the end, and then you can just try.
No. Let me rephrase that. You keep the charade by showing other fake fucking creatives at the end. That's what.
Let me rephrase. Oh my god, Jesus Christ! Yeah. Of course. That's the charade, and then we have the last point, which I think it's still relevant and very recent. Just using creators with fan base to build your ads. Which is really, and this is interesting because this approach turns your average cringy UA creative with these like B actors or like just random people into actually engaging video with a ton of comments from fans. And I think everybody should replicate this. And this one, I'm going to show it right away, which is here. Yeah. So 1 sec. And I know, I'm pretty sure you already saw this.
Oh yeah, this one. Yeah. This is high production influencer marketing.
This is amazing because some of the if you look at the comments on Facebook and even on Google or YouTube under this video, people recognized on Facebook immediately this Viva la Dirt leak from YouTube. Hundreds of comments.
Yeah, of course, because these guys are pretty much amazing. They're running their channel for I don't know how many years. Like they have 5 million subscribers on YouTube or something. So it's pretty much like ask. Like this is like a pretty much internet TV show these days.
Yeah, the thing is like they published this few days ago. It's a new game, Call of Dragons, I think, from
Fairlight.
Fairlight, which is publishing arm of Lily Games, by the way.
Yep.
I was just gonna say, is this anything to do with? Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. So the engagement under these creatives, which is like 200 comments in the first 24 hours, it's amazing. It helps really in the auction, and this drives CPIs down quite heavily. So many you have so many cringe videos for some game, and even for this specific game as well, they use like very weird type of concepts. So we might just talk about it on one other session as well. But this is way better than everything else. Because
of course, but these guys, like the thing is that these guys run these skits weekly, like 3-4 skits per week, and the creative fits so well with their team and audience, you don't even recognize you're watching an ad. That's the best thing about it.
Yeah, it's great. So
they already run like with AFK Arena. They already run something with them. Wargaming runs a lot of stuff with them. PUBG and like all these other big publishers.
Easy. So that was my last flamboyant tip. How about that? You can rate it from 1 to 10.
I would rate it something like
2.
No, I would say like 7.
Ooh.
One important thing that you forget to mention is that, at least on my side, on the vector product
side, and system side,
it's becoming more and more clear that if you are not at the edge of your creative game, you're going nowhere, and the impact of the product quality is diminishing very fast these days. Like everybody is pretty much getting up to standard somewhere, and even over the standard. I mean, production values, the polish level of your, juice or whatever, VFX, everything to have that in the game. But in the end, if you don't have, all of these creative tricks up your sleeve, you're getting nowhere. You cannot scale the game, you cannot move the needle, you cannot, iterate to infinity, you won't get anywhere.
Yeah, but why would I mention that when we talked about it in like 3 previous podcasts already?
Because some people just joined.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Recently.
Yeah, you should go back and check the the latest episodes.
Previous 58 episodes.
Not 58, just like last 4 or 5. That's when this kind of got really interesting. Now, because I wanted to stay away from that, and I just mentioned everything else because there's a lot of other things happening on the US side.
Yeah, but in the end, like for me as like a non-UA person, it seems more and more clear that even if you like your campaign diversification,
yeah,
I guess like it could still be a little bit more shitty, but if you have a killer creative, you're still making money hand over fist.
There you go, the second best UA manager on the podcast. I love it. No, it's true because then we get again into this discussion when if you have a creative winner, it fucking wins everywhere. It's not
even
like,
if you have shitty UI setup, because the CPI gets so low. That's the thing.
But if you get the shitty UI setup, you won't find that the best creative because you don't know how. You need to know the basics. Like you need to know like how to do like a default setup at least, and at least to get somewhere.
Yeah, but you still can do these things. You can get still lucky, I would say, with these things.
Well, these days, not that much anymore. I think you need to be well prepared. And
or
it's
very
like
lucky. Very, very
or
lucky.
very, very lucky. Yeah, very, very lucky. All right.
This was fun. I learned a lot.
That's it.
I think I'm still the 3rd best UA manager on the pod.
Maybe you will be the second best. Depends. Maybe you will be the best. I'm the 3rd one after this rambling. Anyway. Okay. So thank you very much for listening. Get yourself a margarita. Print flamingo, put it on your wall, and definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spotify and Apple as well, and then some other Google podcast or whatever podcast platforms as well. Thank you.
And for those that enjoy reading our wall of text, there was this really, really big article we put together. So if you like the previous episode, feel free to look it up.
Feel free to look at it. I will post it in the show notes. Feel free to look it up.
Look it up in the show notes.
Yeah, look it up in the show notes. Don't be lazy. I will put it there.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.